A man was verbally assaulted this week in California for being a white guy wearing a MAGA hat. Didn't hear about that? Well, it might be because this story didn't fit the left's hate crime demographics, so I guess that makes it the tree that fell in the forest. Bummer. A man in Palo Alto, California was just sitting at a Starbucks minding his own business this week when a woman named Rebecca Mankey approached him and started screaming her head off, ranting about how he must hate black people, calling him a Nazi, among other things, and demanding that he leave the store. And after all of that, she wrote about it on Facebook and plastered his picture all over social media, telling her followers to harass this man whenever they saw him on the street. She added she even wanted to know the guy's name, where he lived, who his wife was, and where his kids go to school. Well, his name was Victor. He's 74, and why did all of this happen to him? Well, because he had the audacity to show his face in public wearing a red MAGA hat. That's it. That's literally all he did. Now, the one nice part about this whole story is that Mankey apparently lost her job at a local music store over the whole thing, which, makes sense considering I wouldn't want an unhinged loony bin working for me either. But it's interesting that here we have yet another case of a random innocent person being targeted in public for being a Trump supporter. And I haven't seen a single CNN camera crew lined up to interview him about how he was harassed because of his skin color and political persuasion. I find it funny that an actor can accuse two anonymous white guys of assaulting him in Chicago and the entire nation loses its mind. And when it turns out he made the whole thing up, he gets a slap on the wrist and sent along his merry way, never mind the damage done. Meanwhile, many people who have dared to show public support for the president that they voted for have found themselves being assaulted, harassed, spit on, beat up on college campuses and in public school classrooms, refused service, had guns pulled on them in Kentucky Sam's Club parking lots, found their flags burned on their front porch, been doxxed online, been kicked out of public spaces, and screamed at for no real good reason.
Leave the store.
Here's where you're at.
Leave the store.
Leave
the store.
Here's where
Leave the store.
And whenever that happens, those stories barely make it past their local newspaper, except for maybe Fox News and a few conservative websites. Now, I'm not saying that I expect conservatives will suddenly start getting equal treatment by the news media. We won't, and we're pretty much used to that by now. We won't get defended when we get called names or harassed or assaulted or spit on. NBC won't notice when we're targeted for our beliefs, but we notice. We see how this double standard works. We aren't buying into the lie that all right-wingers are violent racists and that the other side is somehow bigot-free. We know who we are, what we believe, why we believe it, and that we are hated for it. We get it. But we don't go whine to Good Morning America and Don Lemon. We're going to the ballot box. And that's your reality check, America. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page, like us on Facebook and Twitter, and stay sane out there.